What's up, YouTube? I'm recording this for the second time because I didn't have my microphone on, it was on the floor. But this is your boy JB here with the review for Life at the Lockup, Season 3. I do believe this is episode 22. The episode was titled Big Daddy's Back. And before we get into the review, you guys know that I am affiliated with Everlasting Comfort. You guys go check in the description bar below. Click on that link. Go check out their stuff. If you guys happen to purchase anything, be sure to use my 10% discount so that you guys can get 10% off of your purchase. So you guys, without further ado, let's go ahead and jump to this let's jump to this episode review. All right, you guys, so the episode, I'm going to talk about the small stuff and then work all the way up to the stuff that I really want to talk about. That ain't Rona. So the first thing that I want to discuss is going to be Scott and Lindsay. So I don't really know why we needed this scene with Scott and Lindsay. I was thoroughly confused about it. So you guys know Lindsay is still in her feelings about the fact that Scott went through her things. So Lindsay is going to return the favor and go through Scott's things. Now, Lindsay said something that I was even thinking when she said it. Why does Scott feel the need to write down? I mean, I guess he's an older person and, you know, some older people forget their passwords. But don't leave your passwords out where someone can get to them. That's kind of not smart. Just putting it out there to you. So Lindsay is going through Scott's things. She's finding delinquent bill after delinquent bill. She also finds a rental agreement for the house that they are living in. And I'm like, oh, so a scammer ran a scam on another scammer. Yep, Lindsay, I don't feel anything for you. Again, I was just wondering, why did we even have this scene? It's just a con artist running a con on another con. Now, I did see in the background that Scott does have a degree in something, in business, but that doesn't mean that he owns his own business. I mean, Scott ran a scam on Lindsay just like Lindsay ran a scam on him. But looks like Lindsay was the one that really, truly got the scam. Now, I will say, however, that it was creepy that Scott had the letters that people had written to her and also had all her Instagram photos saved on his computer. Now, that is a little creepy, so I will definitely give her that part. And, you know, she also went through his phone, an old phone, and she saw where he had been talking to prostitutes, which I'm like, okay, that's not shocking to us because we knew that Scott said he had, you know, he was, you know, he frequented, you know, with escorts prior to Lindsay, but he made us believe that he had stopped, which he had not stopped. So then also Lindsay noticed that there was some spy cameras around. So she felt like Scott was spying on her. Now with that one, I don't necessarily think that Scott was spying on her. What I think the cameras are the footage that they sent to the producers. Because I mean, we do know that with COVID, they were filming at home. So I don't necessarily think that that was spy gear. Now, I think it might be, you know, the producers having them send them their footage of their video of the, you know, the stuff that they're recording from home. So that's what I think. Could be wrong. So then we see Lindsay, she calls her mom and she tells her mom everything that she found. And her mom was like, you know, she kind of wonders if it's safe for her and Miley Grace to be there. You should have thought about that a long time ago. I mean, Lindsay met this, granted she's dated him for 2 years while she was in prison, but Lindsay doesn't really know this man. So when she got out of prison, I'm sorry. Just because we're talking doesn't mean that I'm going to, you know, just because when I get out of prison, I'm not gonna just come and live with you. Like, I'm gonna go live with my family. We can continue to date and get to know each other. And then if things progress from there, then yes, I could potentially move in with you, but right out of prison, hell the fuck no. So I don't feel bad for her at all. But let's move on, you guys. All right, you guys, next up, we're gonna talk about Andrea and Lamar. Now, this scene with Andrea and Lamar, I'm gonna be honest with you guys, this scene actually felt like it was rehearsed. I'm gonna tell you guys why. So Andrea, Lamar, and the kids were sitting down to eat. So Andrea asked Priscilla, you know, what was her day like with her dad at the beach? And Priscilla, I'm like, y'all can't teach this. I mean, she's not believable in this scene. Any of the scenes that Priscilla was in, I didn't believe anything that she was saying. Because Priscilla was like, oh, you know, we went to the beach and we talked to, and Andrea was like, who did you talk to? Oh, me. And then Lamar chimed in and said, yeah, you know, we talked to Alfredo. the man that gave you the ice cream, right? And she's like, yeah. I'm like, that just did not seem believable at all. I'm wondering if Andrea may have already known that they went and saw, Shantae, and she probably had already freaked out before. I don't know. It just didn't seem. It didn't seem. It seemed kind of put on, kind of forced. Just my opinion. So then Andrea's telling Lamar about, Tennyson and them going to meet that man, and his feelings, and Tennyson ain't backing down from how he felt. So Andrea suggests that they do family therapy, and I'm like, family therapy for what? You're the one that needs the therapy. And I love the fact that both Nyla and Lamar said, let Tennyson be him. Like, he's a man, he's an adult. Like, you can't make decisions for him anymore. The boy is 18. Your days of making decisions for him are long since gone. I just don't really understand what Andrea's fascination with the Mormon. I still, for the life of me, don't understand what this woman's fascination with the Mormon church is. I just don't get it. I don't. I don't. If anybody, I mean, and then she got so defensive. She's talking about nobody's listening to her. You not listening to him. So then later in the episode, we see Andrea. She wants for Priscilla, Tennyson, and Nyla to set up this what is it? A lemonade stand. And she wants them to teach the gospel. I'm like, I'm cool with teaching a gospel, but I'm not going to learn the gospel about the Mormon church. Like, I don't care what the Mormons say. I just, again, for the life of me, I just don't understand why a black woman is part of the Mormon church when they would not have accepted you prior to the 70s. Just putting that out there. But the kids feel like it's a stupid idea, and I agreed with the kids. So then, Priscilla is outside drawing, and again, this is another scene where I feel like it was just put on. Because if she's drawing, why is she not drawing on drawing paper? Why is she drawing on spiral paper? But it wasn't even the fact that the paper that she was drawing on. It was the fact that when Nyla asked her what was she drawing, she couldn't really tell her what she was drawing. Then she spit it out. She said she was drawing her family, and she mentioned Shantae, but then she was like, I wasn't supposed to tell you guys. I'm just like this. Now I know how. Now when I was a kid, if I would say something, I'd be like, oh, I would, I wouldn't act that way. If I said something that I wasn't supposed to say, I'd be like, I would make faces, and I'd be like, uh-oh, I wasn't supposed to say that. I'm like, oh, I wasn't supposed to tell you that. But it could just be me. Let me know if you guys feel where I'm coming from. But Nyla and Tennyson feel like that's a bad idea, especially knowing how their mother is. I agree. But let's move on. All right, you guys, and then let's talk about Marcelino and Britney. Wasn't a lot with them either, but Britney and Marcelino are talking about her mother, and the fact that her mom is staying in that motel. Britney wants to help her mother, and I was actually on Marcelino's side with this whole situation with Britney. I get it. Britney wants to help her mother, and Britney is afraid that if her mom, if something bad happens to her mom, she's gonna blame her. I feel like if something bad happens to her mother, Britney will blame herself, which she shouldn't blame herself. Her mom is the one that has the addiction. And the other thing is, Britney, you're the child. I know you're not a child per se, but you're the child. She's the parent. She shouldn't put you in that situation to feel like you necessarily have to help her get her shit together. Your mom should be, I don't want to sound like an asshole or anything, and I don't want to sound mean. I get where Britney's coming. I don't get it because I don't have anyone in my family that has a drug addiction, but I do have some alcoholics in my family. And you can tell people over and over and over again, you need to stop drinking, or you need to stop doing drugs, or you need to stop doing this or that. At the end of the day, they're gonna do what they want to do. Like, I have a cousin that is an alcoholic out of this world. My grandmother has talked to her. We, me and my other cousins have talked to her. We've said, like, girl, you need to slow down on that drinking. Or, you could, everyone in my family has said stuff to her about the drinking. And what does she say to us each and every time? I'm grown. I'm like, okay, girl, you grown. But if you die of, from alcohol poisoning, cirrhosis of the liver, any of that shit, you can't say we didn't warn you. And that's and that's how it is. I feel like Britney has to get to that point where it's like the age-old saying: you can lead a horse to water, but you can't make it drink. And with her mom, I feel like with her mom, it's a bit of enabling. I'm not saying Britney isn't. I know Britney wants her to stop, but her mom continues to come to you because she knows that you are going to exhaust every measure to help her. So I feel like I feel like Britney has to tell her mom, hey, if you want the help, you got to get the help. Now Britney did tell her if you need me to take, and I'm in agreement with that part. If you don't have transportation, I will take you, but you got to be the one that reaches out to get the help. It's up to you, only you. Like if you need an Uber, I'll Uber you there. If you need a bus ticket, I'll get you the bus ticket. I'm not giving you the money for the ticket, but I will give you the bus ticket. If you need to get however you need to get there, I will help you get there. I'm not giving you the money, but I will definitely 100% help you get there. But the mom needs to be able to say, hey, I want the help. She needs to look into facilities. She needs to do everything that she can do on her own. It has to be her that wants to do it. Britney, I really do feel bad for Britney. I really, really do. But let's move on, you guys. All right, you guys, let's talk about Amber and Puppy. It wasn't much with this scene either. It really wasn't much with them. Amber is heading into Puppy's mama house as she gets a phone call, and on the phone it is Puppy telling her that she is getting out of prison. So Puppy is getting out of prison on Friday, and I think she said it was gonna be 3 days. And she told her mom, the mom was like, so hell, I don't even know where she's gonna sleep when she get here. And Amber's like, oh, she can sleep with me. And then Amber in her interview with the producer talking about how she's attracted to Puppy. I'm like, girl, you not telling us something that we don't already know, that you are attracted to Puppy. You want to be with Puppy. That is the reason that you could not be with Vincent, because you are in love with Puppy. You're a lesbian. It's okay. There's nothing wrong with being a lesbian. Just own up to it. Hell, the mama knows you and Puppy. Now, that was a confusing thing when the mom was talking about, the relationship between Amber and Puppy, and, she hoped Puppy doesn't have so many expectations. You do realize that they're both in love with each other and they're both lesbians. So when she gets out, they're going to have the relationship that both of them want. Now, there might be a little hiccup in the relationship, and I think it's going to be Amber's mama, the scammer. I feel like that's going to be the issue in their relationship, is Amber's mama. That's me. That's where I come from. That's what I think. So yeah, that's it with Amber and Puppy, and we haven't saw Vincent yet, but I know eventually we're gonna see him. Good God of hell. But let's move on, you guys. Next, let's discuss. Do I want to talk about Sarah and Michael? No, I'm gonna say them for last. Let's talk about Lacey, Shane, and John. So John has gotten out of prison. And the one thing that I could look at when he said Big Daddy's back was his teeth. His teeth are so damn brown. They're not yellow. Those holes are brown. I'm like, good God damn. What kind of drugs have you been on? So instead of John calling his family, he called his homeboy Joe. So he's going to stay with Joe and his girlfriend. Didn't get her name. Didn't really care what her name was. So John was talking to Joe about what happened why he's been back in jail for the last 10 months. So what happened was, he said him and Lacey went to a strip club, and Lacey got mad at him for talking to the stripper. I'm like, why would she get mad? That's a real dumb reason to get mad at the man. So he said that she went home and somebody called the police, because in one thing he said she called the police, but in another thing it could have been Shane that called the police. I don't care who called the police. But the fact that he's talking about, it was because he was drunk, I'm like, brother, man, that shit said you had needles and, substances. It wasn't just because you were drunk. You had drugs on you, so miss me with the bullshit, John. So then we see Lacey. So Lacey is with the kids and they're preparing for dinner. And Lacey is talking about the fact that, marriage is really all about sacrificing. Shane has to work and I'm at home with the kids and I'm pregnant. And I was thinking to myself, like, oh my God, Lacey. So that's what it means to be in a marriage. A marriage is a partnership. So you have to compromise and sacrifice things in your marriage. And that's also what it means to be a parent. So yeah, I don't really feel bad for you, Lacey. Just gonna be honest with you. I'm really gonna be honest with you about that. I don't feel bad for you. You're a parent and you're a wife. So your family comes first. And then you're talking about Shane is always working. What do you want him to do? Like sit on the couch all day and just, eat and do nothing? Like, yes, the man has to work, Lacey. But okay. So then we see John. So John is out working with Joe. John is talking about the fact that he wants to get answers from Lacey about what happened. I'm just like, dude, let it the fuck go. Now, Lacey, if you do go back to John, talk to John, anything with John, you ain't shit as well. But let's move on, you guys. All right, you guys. Lastly, Sarah and Michael. Both of them annoy the fuck out of me. So I'm just in here looking because Sarah. Where do I want to start with Sarah? Actually, I want to start with Malcolm. So Malcolm, my boy, I'm gonna need you to do something for me, and it'll help you as well. You are going to want to get away from Sarah. And the reason why you want to get away from Sarah is because Sarah is not over Michael. She's not going to be over Michael. Sarah's going to continue to play this cat and mouse game with Michael. Because when Michael came over, Sarah went to the door and opened it. I would have let the motherfucker just sit out there in the cold. Like, you missed court, but now you showing up at my doorstep. Make it make sense. If these girls were that important to you, you would have brought your raggedy ass to court, but you didn't bring your raggedy ass to court. You was laid up with, the girl from the bar, because they showed in the hotel room he had the beer bottles and he had the box of condoms. So at least the dude was smart enough to use a condom. But yeah, Malcolm, you are going to have to leave Sarah because Sarah and Michael are just playing a game with each other at this point, and you, my boy, are going to end up getting caught in the middle of the situation. So, Michael is playing with the girls. Now, here's the scene that threw me for a fucking loop when Michael was talking to the producers and he was talking about, what kind of guy Malcolm is. And then he's talking about Sarah went from a boss to Malcolm. I'm like, a boss of what? A bum? You're a bum, Michael. A boss. A boss of what? If fuckboys had a boss, then you would be the boss of fuckboys. But a boss? A boss. Okay, Michael, if you say so. I don't buy it. No one does. So then, Michael and Sarah sit down and they talk about what happened in court. So she says that the judge called you, I called you, you didn't answer the phone. What's up with that? And he said, I set my alarm, but I didn't hear it. And then she said, he said he woke up late. She said, what time did you wake up? He said 1 p.m. 1 p.m., Michael. Michael didn't set that fucking alarm. You can't tell me Michael set that alarm. Michael and that girl was drinking, they had sex, and they probably had sex into the early morning. And Michael probably, after they had sex, she more than likely may have left, and he went to sleep, and he slept until 1 o'clock. I don't bit more believe that Michael set that fucking alarm. You can't tell me he set that alarm. How in the hell do you miss? If court was at 10 o'clock and you set an alarm, how did you sleep? How did you sleep past from 10 a.m. all the way to 1 p.m.? Make it make sense. But Sarah tells him that the case, they continued the case. So Michael's talking about he wants to go through mediation. I'm like, mediation? Even Sarah said, no, that's not going to work. We're not going to agree because Michael wants 50-50 custody of the girls and, Sarah wants sole custody. Oh, God. Neither one of them are great parents, to be quite honest with you. But if I had to say who's the better parent, Sarah. That's a consolation prize. But yeah, I mean, I'm in agreement with Sarah. First of all, Michael doesn't have a job. Michael ain't got his own place. So where Michael gonna take these girls to is the question. And then number two is you missed a court case. So that shows bad on, that shows up bad all the way around with these girls. So if these girls have to be places or have everything that they need to do, are you gonna miss that? And then we also know about this recent court case that he has about, the child endangerment. No. I'm over Sarah and Michael completely. But you guys, that's going to wrap it up for this episode review. Let me know what you guys thought about the episode. Leave your comments in the comment section below. Subscribe to the channel and hit that bell notification button so you guys are aware of when I drop anything, and share this video. Until the next one, you guys, stay safe out there. Take care of yourselves. Wash your hands. Wear your mask and socially distance. And I'll see you guys later. Bye.